Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If this is the very first time you found me, yay, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thanks for coming back. I truly appreciate your support. And my subscribers already know that my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a particular film. My goal is to save you time and money. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Sight. This lovely film by Angel Studios is now playing in select theaters. It's rated PG-13 and it's generally family friendly. I'll give you tips for parents here in just a few minutes. It's an hour and 40 minutes, and my overall movie review mom grade is an A. I really enjoyed this film. So first, what I'm going to do is give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about if you watch this with a bunch of people. And then we'll finish up with interesting lines, funny lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like. So normally I have a sponsor for the video, and today this is not a sponsor that's paying me. It's simply an organization that I just think deserves recognition, and that is Angel Studios. So to support the good movies that Angel Studios is making, you can donate a free ticket for someone else to see this film, or you could join the Angel Studios Guild, where you can get early access to movies, free tickets, live streams for members only, and discounts on merchandise. You can also help the studio decide which movies to make and when they should launch. I love that Angel Studios offers a pay it forward invitation to viewers so that more people can be exposed to their movies for free. Ticket pre-sales for this movie were an impressive 32,000, which exceeded their expectations of 20,000. Angel Studios has been consistently releasing uplifting movies and changing the way movies are released in the United States of America, at least. Their goal is to amplify light. We definitely need more of that in this crazy, darkening world, don't you think? You can learn more about them at amzn.to. Now, if you do want to support me financially, all you have to do is click on the link below and it'll take you to the autobiography that Dr. Ming Wang wrote, which is called From Darkness to Sight. Now, it doesn't cost you any more if you purchase this book on Amazon, but Amazon will throw a few pretty pennies at me just for telling you about it. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about this movie. So in a nutshell, the amazing story is based on true events. It's about Dr. Ming Wang, who established the Wang Foundation for Sight Restoration, which is a nonprofit charity that has helped patients from over 40 states in the United States of America and 55 countries worldwide with eye surgeries that have been performed free of charge. This inspiring story is a breath of fresh air from all of the garbage that Hollywood often pumps out. Congratulations to Andrew Hyatt, who directed the film and co-wrote it with John Dugan and Buzz McLaughlin. Already, the movie has been nominated and won awards at various film festivals, including Best Picture. So kudos to the team. So quick tips for parents. The movie is family friendly. However, young children, I think, will be bored. There is Mandarin, for example, that's spoken in quite a few scenes, and so viewers have to read the subtitles that are on the screen. So young kids who can't read will miss out on what's going on unless you read it out loud for them. There is some violence, destruction, bullying, and we see several blind people. No profanity, though, so yay, thank you, Angel Studios. So here's the list of things that I really liked about this film. First of all, it was fascinating to watch and learn about the experiences of the doctor's childhood that influenced his strong desire to become an eye surgeon. We get to spend a lot of time in China during the film. I've traveled there many times for business over the years, and I love it for many reasons. I took my two youngest sons with me to perform. They're break dancers, when I was doing a speaking tour, the very first time that we ever went, and we all fell in love with China. One of them returned to teach English in China, while the other one married a lovely and beautiful young woman from Hong Kong. I now have an absolutely adorable grandson who is half Chinese, and we've got another one coming in September. So China is now truly a part of me. In the film, the destructive Chinese Cultural Revolution is represented. I saw the negative consequences of it when I've traveled all around China. So many historic buildings were just destroyed because they were old. The Chinese father in the story describes to his son that the strength of the country was because of the rich traditions. And I agree, destroying so many of the buildings and the history and even the cultural tradition has left a painful hole in the culture, as well as broken up families. I talked to people who told me that some of their family members simply disappeared when they went against the government. I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. We get to hear the Chinese instrument, the erhu. When I saw it played in China, it was really only played by older men in the parks outdoors. The word er means two in Mandarin, and erhu only has two strings. The word hu means foreign, or the northern folk. And so today it's kind of considered a traditional instrument from the countryside. I thought it was really cute. By the way, my Mandarin is terrible. I've been trying to learn it, and it's the tones that are so hard for me. Anyway, I thought it was really cute when one of the Chinese students who went to MIT asked, "What is pizza?" Now, they didn't get pizza in China until, just recently, last couple of decades, really. And they're not huge fans of it. They eat it with plastic gloves and they put very strange things on it. The plastic gloves actually is not a bad idea because, they don't want to get their fingers all greasy and stuff, but, they pass out these gloves and then you eat the pizza. Anyway, I'm not a huge fan of Chinese pizza either. Bring tissues to this movie because you're probably going to cry. There is some emotional heft because the story is so powerful and it'll touch your heart in a lot of ways. We learn at the end of the movie that the film has been lovingly dedicated to Ming's parents. We also get to see pictures of the real Wang family from 1975. And I love that the son is paying tribute to the parents who sacrificed so that he could go to America and study and become this incredible doctor. And I see today so many parents are still doing that. They recognize that the American educational system is different in so many ways. And in fact, when I went on my speaking tour, I spoke at a lot of schools and talked to teachers about the system and how Americans teach versus Chinese. Now, I'm not saying it's better, it's just different. Anyway, in addition, we also get to see video clips of the real Maria the very first time that she saw herself with her new eyes, and it's so touching. I love that the film launched during Asian American and Pacific Islander Month to honor the cultures that are featured in the film. It's mostly Chinese, but we also see some scenes in a Japanese restaurant. I also really love that Angel Studios has partnered with theaters in using the latest technology to bring the movie to all viewers, even those with sensory issues such as hearing and vision loss. Fun fact, some of Dr. Wang's previous patients included Dolly Parton, Charlie Daniels, Naomi Judd, and Kenny Chesney. So in addition to famous people, obviously he's working on very poor people who can't afford any of the eye surgery at all. The real Dr. Ming Wang actually set up an office on set while the movie was being filmed in order to help crew members as well as his other clients, which I just thought was so sweet. And I love that he was a daily part of the filming process. So let me give you some themes that are definitely worth talking about and that were illustrated very well in the film. One is racism, issues about China, persistence, hope, memories, valuing the past, appreciating the present, and moving forward with the future, seeing beyond our own pain and letting go of the past and finding peace. All of those are just so important. to discuss. So take time after you watch this and talk about it with your kids, with your friends, or with whomever you watch the movie. Now, onto the list of things that I didn't like, which is a very small list. First of all, the film bounces around a bit on a timeline. So it would have been helpful to have more years posted on the screen to better know where we were in the timeline. We do see it occasionally, but not every time. Obviously, you start to learn who the actors are when they were younger versus the actors that are older, but just in case somebody blinks and misses the time on the screen or I don't know, it just would have been a little bit more helpful. Some of the pacing is a bit slow, and I've read several reviews of people saying the movie is very slow moving, and that's okay. It's building a character development rather than being a big action movie, which it's not, obviously. Some viewers may be turned off by the request for donations at the very end of the movie and claim that the film was one giant infomercial. I was not offended at all, especially when you consider that Dr. Ming Wang donated his patent on his discovery for free to the world and flew around the world to train doctors on how to use it for free. He gave his personal cell phone number to every patient after surgery. Now, does your doctor do that? Exactly. Mine neither. I can barely get an appointment months out with my primary care provider. In fact, usually she's not even available, and I get either a nurse practitioner or a physician's assistant from her office. She's nowhere to be seen. It's super frustrating. Now, another point that I wanted to make about the Cultural Revolution from 1966 to 1976 that's represented in the movie is that it's not a grassroots uprising as the movie portrays, but really a socio-political movement launched by Mao Zedong himself to gain control over the Communist Party. It crippled the economy, created chaos for a decade, and about 2 million people died either from hunger, starvation, and bloodshed. It was horrible. And I, like I said, still saw the effects with my own eyes. And even the older generation, the older Chinese people I talked with, don't talk about it because of the fear that was generated during that. Now, again, I said, I love China. The government is a different thing, but the country itself is just incredible. Now, I fully recognize that the movie's goal was not to teach us about the Cultural Revolution. It simply is the setting for Dr. Ming Wang in his youth as he grew up and the events as they started to unfold. All right, so enough of that. Whenever I watch movies, I take notes, of course, and I write down funny lines and interesting lines simply so I can share them with you so you can get a taste for the script writing and dialogue and all that kind of thing. So some of the, oh, and by the way, you can see all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. I'll share just a few lines with you right now. So there's Dr. Wang. He's in America. He's a little bit older, and he meets this woman in a restaurant bar area where she works. And he just sort of fumbles an invitation to go out. And she says, "Are you asking me out on a date? You didn't quite stick the landing, but yes." And I thought that was really cute. Now, Dr. Wang has a brother who's hilarious. It's a younger brother, and he has this brilliant idea to make millions. And he's like, Facebook for cats. And I thought, that's not a bad idea. Kidding. But we do see a lot of cats on Facebook. And then there were a lot of really interesting lines that I thought were profound and inspiring. For example, Dr. Wang's mother, when he was a young child, told him, "Ming, we must be patient. Life is not always a straight line." And I just thought, oh, wow, we see that so much today that you think what is happening right now will always be like this, or your life, whatever is happening right now, will always be like that. And that's not true. That there you've got fluctuations for sure. It's a roller coaster, this life of ours, right? And the world as well. And so he was patient. They made a plan A and a plan B to see how was Ming going to grow up and have a career. And obviously, a lot of opportunity doors were closed to him at that time, but obviously they opened back up. Another interesting line was Dr. Ming Wang's father, when he says, a father's duty is to protect, to help the children feel at peace, even when they do not always believe it themselves. And he's referencing the time during this revolution where everything was chaos. And yet he tried to tell his son, it's going to be okay. Here's your plan A. And if that doesn't work, here's the plan B. And I really love that. That's so true. Another really great line that I loved is spoken by Annie, who's played by Danny Wang. And she says, the present is made possible by the past. And I think that the movie did a great job showing how sometimes we beat our head against the past, wishing it weren't so, wishing it were different. And yet that past is what makes you who you are today. The good, the bad, the ugly, the whole thing. And so I thought that was a really profound line. So before we go, let me share just 2 movie recommendations for other Greg Kinnear movies that are inspirational that you might also like. He stars in both of them. The first one is called Same Kind of Different as Me. That one came out in 2017. Now, it has nothing to do with China, but it has a lot to do with culture and differences and race and struggles and challenges and overcoming them and coming together as a people. I thought it was really powerful. And then another one is a 2014 movie called Heaven is for Real. And it's based on a true story as it shows what happened to a young child who believed that he saw heaven and all of the controversy that swirled around him. People just thought he was crazy or trying to get attention. And it's also very, very touching and very sweet. And I think the viewers or the fans, I should say, of Angel Studios will really enjoy that one, especially. All right. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. When you get a minute, run over to Instagram where you can find me as Movie Review Mom, but you can also find me as my author profile, Trina Boice, where you can learn about my books, especially when they are offered for free on Amazon, which is every month, sometimes every week during the month, because I have so many books. And you can learn about my online courses, my products, and my other shenanigans. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.